2020 was a really good year for us, for me financially, for my company, and for a lot of people for the show, a lot of people who realized, hey, I need to be doing something different. Maybe Jason wasn't an idiot and he was on the right track. But then 2021 hit and it just sort of went flat. And so for the last year or so, I've been having kind of a difficult time. The last year's been difficult for me. And not out of my personal life, because that incredibly is better than it has ever been. But as far as professionally, my professional life, I have been in a state of what we call mid-career crisis. It's been, if you could put a single word on it, I have been uninspired. The fire that I have for this work just hasn't been there. I'm doing the same stuff every single day, the same stuff everybody else is doing. And instead of being a leader, instead of breaking new ground like I was a decade ago, I feel trapped in this like world of mediocrity, struggling to have the kind of impact that I want to have. I talk about this a lot, that most people live their lives in some level of mediocrity between total failure and their true potential, that most people just exist. And for the last year, I've really felt like I've just been existing, and I cannot stand it. And part of the reason for that, I think, is because my industry hasn't changed in a decade. This show and what I do professionally in coaching and consulting is all part of an industry called the information industry. And that hasn't changed, as I said, in like a decade. Everybody does the same thing. You create some content, you put it out there, people consume it, you build a little trust and authority, you ask them to sign up for your stuff, get some contact information, then you give them some more stuff. And you repeat this cycle until eventually you ask them for some money to help you. And the faster you can do that, the better. So that's what created, for those of you who are familiar with the industry, all the funnels that you see, being built that take people from getting to know you to taking your free stuff to getting your paid stuff. Like the faster you can do that, the better. Number one, because that's just smart business, right? It didn't matter what you're doing. If you owned a clothing store, the goal would be spend a little money on advertising, let people know that you're out there, get them in the store, get them to spend some money as fast as possible. Why? That way you can turn those advertising dollars over and you can go and do it again, right? So some of it is just good business. But unfortunately today, every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every wannabe influencer, guru, and coach is out there claiming to be an expert. And they all got their 2 comma club, 3 comma club, make you millions. Just follow my system. I'll show you how easy it is. Just look at my G5 jet and my Rolls Royce. And they're all promising you that if you'll just give them your money, that they'll make you as rich and as obnoxious as they are. I'm over that. I never liked that. I came out of the trading and investing space, which is fraught with people who promise they can make you millions while you sleep. Invest $39 in my automated system and it'll make you $100,000. Just look at these income statements as proof. And when I got into that industry, one of the reasons I got into it was because I looked at it and I said, that's a nasty, ugly industry. I don't want to be a part of that. But I do see value in teaching people what I know. And so we kind of sold against that. We said, you know what, this can be hard. 80% of you are going to fail no matter what I do. But the 20% of you who have a chance, I think I can shorten that curve for you. I think I can teach you some stuff that'll be really valuable to you. And that's the way we did it. I looked around watching people create products, and what I decided to do was I created a company. I said, I want people not just to buy my product. I want them to know who I am, and I want them to know what my company is and what we're about. And I want to build something where people come back again and again and again, because the value that they get from us is so high that they can't find it anywhere else at any price. And so that's what we did. And when I left that company in 2017, I looked at the information industry and I saw something similar. I saw a bunch of people who were selling stuff and claiming to be experts and offering bad advice, whose only claim to fame, the only money that they'd ever actually made, was teaching other people how to do what they're teaching other people how to do. So they never built a real company. They had built a company teaching other people how to build companies, if that makes sense. And I looked at myself and I said, I built this successful business. I built a successful podcast. I've been on national TV. I've had my own show on the History Channel. Like, I really do know how to do this stuff. And I think I can help a lot of people. And maybe the most frustrating part for me is that we have a legit economic and cultural storm coming. I've talked about it many times, but the economy, our world is changing faster than anyone understands. And there are millions of Americans who are going to be left without the skills that they need, not to thrive, but just to survive from the changes that are coming. And I want to give you just some numbers to illustrate this. Because I say millions, and people are like, okay, Jason, millions of people. No, listen to me for a minute. There are 197 million Americans over the age of 21. 70% of them have less than $1,000 in savings. 30% of that 70% have zero. They don't even have a savings account. Okay? But altogether, 70% of them have less than $1,000 in savings account. That means there are 138 million people in this country living paycheck to paycheck. 138 million. Last month, McKinsey Global Institute, they do a lot of predictive studies and forecasting of what the economy is going to look like, said that 45 million Americans, that's 1/4 of the workforce, 25%, would lose their jobs to automation by 2030. That's 8 years, folks. 8 years, 45 million people. Another think tank, Oxford Economics, put the number of manufacturing jobs that will be replaced by 2030 at 20 million. It's crazy. Like, it's not a joke. I actually get stressed out when I think about it. 33% of new jobs, that's 1/3 of the new jobs in this country, are for occupations that did not exist 25 years ago. I did the math on that. That's 1997. I was a junior in high school, 1997. 1/3 of the jobs now available and being created are for industries that didn't exist when I was in school. The automation potential for jobs that require less than a bachelor's degree is 55%. That's according to the Brookings Institute. Now, what does that mean? That means if your job doesn't require a bachelor's degree or higher, there is a 55% chance that it'll be automated away. And the World Economic Forum estimates 54% of workers require significant reskilling or upskilling to compete. And I've known all this for a long time. I've been beating my head against the wall these past few years, just saying, hey, you got to improve your skills. You need multiple sources of income, right? More income means more wealth. More wealth means more choices. More choices helps to protect you and your family from the risks that are coming. But here's the problem. The problem is I sound like all the other gurus and business coaches out there. I say, here's your solution. I got this course. Come buy my stuff, and I'll teach you what I know. Now, I'll preface this by saying, don't get me wrong. I know most of you who listen to this show regularly get that somebody's got to make money, and if you go to high school, the teachers got to make money, and you go to college, professors got to make money. So the people with the knowledge who are teaching the stuff, it's not unreasonable, it's not unethical to say, hey, I will trade you this knowledge and information I have for money. There's nothing unethical about that. In fact, there's some justification that says that it's a far more cost-effective way to learn skills in the 21st century than going to college. But the problem is, how do you build trust? How do you get buy-in for your vision when you look and sound like all of the other hucksters and grifters peddling information products? I don't know. But the bottom line is, I am not having the kind of impact that I want to have. And if this show is going to be the agent for creating the kind of radical change that I want to see in people's lives, then I need to do something radical. And many of you know that I've been talking with my business partner. Well, some of you may not know. I have a business partner. He's a silent partner. I sold a piece of my company away in 2018 to him. And we have been, for the past several months, we've been talking, trying to work out a solution to this problem that we've got. And last week, he and I, along with several other people, met here in Scottsdale to discuss the future. One of the guys that I met with is a potential business partner, an incredible guy that has been my pleasure to get to know, whose business, whose ambitions, goals, and vision align with my own. And there may be a potential business partner there. I hope there is, honestly. I think there's more good than bad that could come of that relationship. And the other guys that we met were we're managing partners at a venture capital firm that does some very specialized investments. And I'm not going to name who they are. It doesn't really matter. But if you guys are listening, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate your advice, your counsel, your willingness to sit down and talk. In total, I spent probably 7 hours with those guys. And these are guys who are very busy. And they flew in to have this meeting. They met with me privately as well as all of us as a group. And the advice they gave was invaluable. And you know what? It made me realize just how important it was to have a group of people around you, a team of big thinkers. Because these guys don't think small. They don't think tiny. They think big, big, big. And to have people in your corner who are like, oh yeah, we've done that before. Yeah, here's the way, the best way we think you can do that. To offer the advice and counsel and to be a sounding board for your ideas and to be willing to say, yeah, that's not good. Can't do it like that. Okay. And we spent hours together talking about the vision, clarifying goals, and building a path forward. And at the end of that meeting, we came up with a plan. Now, the first thing that we decided is that everything we do moving forward has to be done with a servant's mentality. Now, that means putting impact over income or impact before income. And even when I say that now, it kind of makes me cringe. Because everybody says that. You know, impact over income. It's kind of like when you're in conservative circles or political circles and you have freedom, liberty, right? These are words that get thrown around that for most people have no real meaning. See, using terms like that means we sound like everybody else. Oh yeah, no different, I'm sure. What are you going to do? Like not make money anymore? Just give all your stuff away for free? Yeah. That's what we're going to do. See, we realized in this discussion that if we were going to be successful at this and we were going to prove to people that we truly were putting impact as the priority over income, that we needed to eliminate any profit motive whatsoever. So here's what's going to happen. Over the next 12 months or longer, if necessary, we decided that we will not sell a single product or offer any paid services whatsoever. Everything that we do, from this podcast to the trainings to the network, everything that we create is going to be 100% free. Our goal over the next 12 months is to help 1,000 people make an extra $1,000 a month. Now that's $1 million of impact that we want to have on this world in the next 12 months without charging a single dime for it. No 2, 3 club garbage. No, here's how I went from living in a trailer to making my first $1 million. No. I want you to help create that first vein of income. That little sliver of freedom that's going to allow you to have more control over your own life. Our long-term goal is to help 1 million people start a business that generates them at least $1,000 a month. That's $1 billion of impact on the lives of everyday people. $1 billion. That's a massive vision, but I think it's one that's achievable. You remember, 137 million people in this country alone live paycheck to paycheck. I mean, really, we're so ambitious, we think 1 million people is a jumping off point. Now, you are probably wondering or saying to yourself, wow, how can you go an entire year without making any money? Surely, there's something that you're not telling us. Surely that there's some money coming in somewhere that you're going to get. You're going to be charging for something. You're just not going to show it on the front end. And if you think that, you are wrong. There is no hidden agenda here. And if you're wondering how I'm able to do this, it's twofold. Number one, I'm tightening my belt up. I've cut out every non-essential expense in my life. My wife Nancy and I have chosen to live lean for the foreseeable future in an effort to bring this vision into reality. So I'm gonna be living light here for the foreseeable future. And the second reason I can do this is because I have an amazing business partner who sees and understands this vision and who wants to help make it a reality. He sees this as much as a business opportunity for him, it's a legacy play. It's a way for us to leave our mark on the world. And we do not know, I'm being very honest with you here, we have no idea how we're going to make money in the future. We have no plan for revenue. Scary. Stupid scary. But we know, we're confident that if we do the right thing for long enough, the money will take care of itself. Now, to accomplish this goal, I will need your help. The first thing I need you to do is just share what we're doing with as many people as possible. You got somebody out there who's like, man, they really need to make a little extra income. They really need this information, but they can't afford to spend any money. You send them to us. We'll do it for free. Send them to this podcast. This podcast will be free. You invite them to join our network. Our network's free, all free. We're going to be putting out a lot of content and a lot of training from experts in the year to come that's going to be an invaluable resource to anyone who truly wants to create more freedom and more opportunity for themselves. Let people know, I'm following my notes here. Let people know this is a place to come for the knowledge, the community, and the inspiration that they're looking for. Second, I need you to subscribe to this podcast, primarily because I'm going to be using this podcast as a training tool to find and interview as many side hustlers as I can to discover how they did it and hopefully inspire you to do the same. Now, based on what we learn, I'm going to be putting together support training and how-to information, all free, that you can use to build your side hustle business. Which brings me to my third request. If you have a part-time business or side hustle that's generating you $500 a month or more, then I want to talk to you. Email me, jason@jasonstapleton.com. and tell me your story. We've already started booking interviews with people from around the country who have found unique ways to generate part-time income. I have 7 or 8 already on the books that we're going to be recording over the next 3 weeks. Now, let me make perfectly clear. I'm not interested in your rags to riches story, right? I'm not looking for the guy who grew up poor and now drives a Bentley, all right? The world's full of those stories. Those are a dime a dozen. I want to hear about how you took $1,000 and bought a teeth whitening kit, and now you're making $500 a month whitening people's teeth. I want to hear about how you took your love for woodworking and created some really unique pieces, and you're making $500 to $1,000 a month selling them on Etsy. There are millions of stories like that. And what I want to do is I want to get you out of the headspace that if you want to start a business or start a side hustle, that it has to be some sort of like internet business or crypto business or something like that. There are a million different ways that people are generating $10,000, $12,000, $20,000 a year in extra income that don't require them to work night and day, that don't require them to do things that they don't enjoy, that aren't a burden, but are a blessing to their lives. And lastly, as we build out this amazing free resource library, we're going to need industry experts to help us teach. If you work in HR, accounting, tax preparation, in areas of the legal field like corporate law, then I want you to email me, jason@jasonstapleton.com, because I'm looking to build strategic partnerships with people who buy into this vision and want to help. We already have our first one. I'll be announcing it very shortly in the next few weeks of a brand new strategic partner who's going to be teaching on a fascinating subject that I frankly know nothing about. Now, your next question is likely, how am I going to get access to all this cool stuff? Man, this sounds great. I've been really looking for somebody who'd be willing to, just kind of put it all on the line. Well, we'll be announcing everything on this show. So anything new that we do, anything new that comes out, I'll announce it on the show. But all the content, the videos, the bonus interviews, the live training sessions, support PDFs will be hosted on our Nomad network. Again, completely free. We have both a web version and mobile apps for Android and iPhone. So you can go and download that. Just Google Nomad Network or go to the App Store and download it. Now, there are currently close to 2,000 people in that community who want to support you and help you achieve your goals. Now, some of them are just starting out. They're just like you. They haven't made a penny yet. Some of them are still searching for what that idea is. What are they really passionate about? What are they getting excited about? Others have built million-dollar businesses. We've got many multi-millionaire business owners on that network as well. It's a family of builders, creators, artists, and dreamers who know that freedom isn't something that's granted. It's something that you earn. And if you are willing to work for it, I'm going to give you every single thing that you need to make sure it happens.